Hello, my name is Tanya Cutts. I'm a broker at the Cutts Team Real Estate in Hernando, Mississippi, which is DeSoto County. Today we're going to talk about agency. Real quick, this is an agency by Tanya Cutts version. Okay? There's 4 forms that we need to go over real quick, and I have a graphic for you. I'll hold it up in just a minute. Again, working with a broker. This is a Mississippi state form. It is required. It is a disclosure only. It is not an agreement. Again, this form, working with a broker, is a disclosure only. It describes my 6 fiduciary duties as a seller representative. It also lists those duties as a buyer representative. It talks about a customer who gets basically no representation, or a dual representative, which is allowed in the state of Mississippi. We can represent both the seller and the buyer as long as everybody signs off before the offer. So here we go. We will go into detail about each of these on other videos, but today I just want to give you an overview because I actually got a call from a man who understands agency, and he does not want representation. A buyer agreement is now required by the National Association of Realtors for all realtors before we can even show a house to a buyer. This agreement is not optional. So please hear me out on this. We have to have an agreement in place. Now, which agreement do you want? That is for you as a buyer to choose. I will go over them in detail. We'll have other videos. Today is just an overview. But today's contract or an agreement is going to be a non-agency buyer agreement because this customer, not the client, customer understands agency, and he has asked to not be represented. He understands that absent a buyer agreement, the agent represents the seller. So he wants to see the property, and he's going to sign a non-agency buyer agreement. And we'll go into those specifics later about what they are. So in my words, working with a broker is a disclosure only form. It is a job description more or less for a realtor. It explains our fiduciary duties in detail. Everybody signs off. They understand these principles before we get started. A buyer agreement, and we have 3 of those. There's a non-agency customer, there's a non-exclusive, and an exclusive. And I like to say that the customer, we're talking about real estate. As my kids tell me, they're in a talking relationship. Non-exclusive relationship just means we're dating. You might be able to date other realtors. But today, I'm going to have you sign a non-exclusive if you want to see a property. The other one, my favorite, is called the exclusive agreement. In other words, we're married. You can only use me to show houses. You approve of that. You want that. We understand this relationship. I'm going to help you find a house. I'm going to negotiate for you. I'm going to help you get the best terms possible. So these are the 3 types of buyer agreements. A non-agency for a customer who does not get representation. In that relationship, only the seller is represented. A non-exclusive means that you can use me to see this property, and you may use other realtors for other properties. The exclusive buyer agreement means that you choose to only work with me in these transactions. So these are new forms. They're in the state of Mississippi anyway. So if you need more help and you want to navigate these forms and make wise decisions before you hire a realtor, give me a call. Tanya Cutts, the Cutts Team, 662-312-7757. Just remember, working with a broker is a disclosure. It's our job description for you. The other agreements are buyer agreements. Those are agreements that spell out terms and compensation for cooperation in the market. Basically, it's our paycheck. So you have a job description and you have a paycheck, much like the rest of the world. It's that easy. So give Tim and Tanya Cutts a call at 662-312-7757. We would love to discuss this with you in more detail. Have a great day.